IQ gets you hired and EQ gets you fired. Your reputation will take the shape of the type of friends you have. So life में my message to everybody is कि आपको जहाँ opportunity मिलती है, you must take that opportunity. Army does not need super intelligent people. Army needs only average intelligence people. If you think कि तुम अफसर हो, भूल जाओ. जवानों के साथ पहले आपको रहना सीखो. Your leadership has to change with the type of people who we are going to lead.
Welcome to another inspiring episode of Believing Future Amazing Mentor, where we explore the extraordinary life journey for those who have dedicated themselves to purpose-driven leadership. I am your host, Gaurav Garg. Today, we are honored to be joined by decorated war veteran, a strategic leadership expert, and a transformative force in human resources and education. With over 37 years of experience in military leadership, organizational development, and mentoring future-ready talent, our guest has worn many distinguished hats, from Major General in Indian Army to HR and educational consultant and author. He is a graduate of a prestigious College of Defense Management, an expert in emotional intelligence, and an advisor to the Union Public Service Commission. His role as Vice Chairman of the All India Council of Human Rights and his unwavering commitment to mentoring young leaders makes him true beacon of inspiration. Join me in welcoming a man who has not only serve the nation with valor but continue to serve the future with wisdom, Major General Dr. Ranjan. Welcome, sir, to our episode Amazing Mentor.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you for inviting me, and my good wishes to all the viewers.
My pleasure, sir. Please tell us, where did you grow up and what were your early inspirations?
Thank you, Gaurav. It's been a long journey. Once you go back to your years of your childhood and your growth, my father was also an army officer, and my father was a telecommunication engineer. He was in the core of signals of the Indian Army, which look after the entire communication and the cyber security network of the Indian Army. Being an army brat, as you may call it, the army child, frequent postings of my father, we moved from place to place, and I don't remember how many schools I would have changed. So the childhood went into army cantonments, and the best part of this childhood was that I could enjoy all the facilities which are there, which a cantonment provides in terms of sports and outdoor activities. So when you build up your life, you need to have a mix of your academics and your sports activities. There is a saying that leaders are born in the playfields of Eden. That implies that leadership qualities can only be developed if you play games, and that also team games. So these are the exposures. You have to be lucky. Because I was a son of an army officer, you had this exposure where I could pick up all these games. So I started playing hockey, I started playing football, volleyball, and also since all the army clubs were there in the cantonment, I had the exposure to learn tennis, lawn tennis, badminton, billiards, or table tennis. So these were the games which were the indoor games. So there was a mix of my picking up indoor as well as the outdoor games. And since my mother was a convent educated lady, she insisted to my father that my education would be in convent schools. So I went into schools like Mount St. Mary's, Delhi Cant, Bishop School, Pune, St. Peter's College, Agra. So like that, my schooling in my formative years was in these convent schools. Then once I was from the 1976 senior Cambridge batch. So I joined the National Defence Academy when I was 17 years old only. It was a decision when you are so young in life, and most of us must be experiencing this in our lives, when we are young and we have to make a choice. So how do we make this choice? because that age is a very impressionable age, and therefore much depends upon what your parents are able to guide you properly. Today's times are different. You see, in our times, we didn't have this kind of distractions which we have today. The social media is there. There is so much of information available. In our times, this information was never available. So we had to look back to our teachers, we had to look back to our parents to make a decision. And since my father was from the army, he convinced me to join this armed forces, and I gave the entrance exam of the UPSC and I cleared the written. Then my interview was in Bhopal. Unique part of the interview is most of you of our listeners and the viewers would also be thinking of making a career in the armed forces. So the SSB part of it, the Service Selection Board, is a very important aspect. And I always tell these youngsters who are appearing in these exams, personally I can tell you that I never took any coaching. And today there are a number of coaching institutes who are money-making organizations. Success rate is also being actually given there. So when we think of going for the SSB, I always tell everybody that please be yourself. Don't try to put a facade in front of the interviewing officers, because they are very experienced. They will see through this facade, so you be yourself. Secondly, always speak with positivity. Always your views and your expressions should give an impression to the other person that you are a very, very positive person and you have the strength and the capability to take setbacks in your life, because they'll ask you questions like this and a very, very informal environment, and they will paint some situations to you. So be very, very truthful in whatever you want to say. And how do you prepare yourself for this? Because you have to prepare for everything. These coaching institutes are also preparing you, but you have to go through the test and not the coaching institute. You are going to be judged in your SSB coaching and not the coaching institute. So what is important is start self visualization. The first step for success in SSB is self visualization, and that means start thinking that you are an officer already. Get into the mold of the character of an army officer before you go into your SSB test. So start thinking that today, if I'm an army officer, what are the qualities I must have within myself? Self-discipline, punctuality, mental strength, physical strength. Start building up on this, because I did a PhD in a subject called emotional intelligence, and I did my doctorate in that. And then I have also done a course on neuro-linguistic programming, and I'm a life coach on that. So what I learned from this, I will tell you. What I learned was that everybody is born with an IQ or intelligence quotient which is fixed. You can't change it. Supposing I have an IQ of 100 as a child, that 100 will remain with me until I die. But what you can change is your emotional quotient. And as per research, and I'm telling you, large number of research has gone to it, to be successful in life, it is 20% of your IQ and 80% of your EQ. And there is a very nice, saying which you must actually remember. IQ gets you hired and EQ gets you fired. So in any organization, what the people are looking for, they are looking for persons who have a very high emotional quotient, who can be a good team man, who can deliver the results. So human resource and understanding this human resource is very, very important in life. And my message to everybody is that whatever I have become and whatever success I've had failures also in life. I will tell you about my failures also and how I overcame those failures. But you have to go through this journey, because life is like a sine curve. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, but keep on growing along this curve. Take every failure as a feedback, and if you take it as a feedback, you will see that there'll be less failures and more successes as you go along in this journey. I will just narrate one incident in National Defense Academy, Khadakwasla, I joined. And during one of the boxing matches there, and I got injured and I had to be hospitalized for some time. Because of that, there was an absence of training, and as per rules, I got relegated by 6 months. रेलीगेटेड का इसको सिंपल एक्चुअली मतलब है कि आप अगर एक क्लास में अगर फेल हो जाते हैं और आपको प्रमोट नहीं किया जाता अगली क्लास में, पर ये सेटबैक बहुत ही इमोशनल होता है ये सेटबैक, बिकॉज वो जो आपके बैचमेट्स हैं जिनके साथ आपने ज्वाइन किया, अब आप उनके साथ ट्रेनिंग नहीं कर पाए और आपका जो एक जूनियर लॉट है आप अभी जो उनके साथ मिल जाते हैं और वो जो जूनियर होते हैं 6 महीने आपसे, वो अभी दे विल बी योर बैचमेट्स में. So it is a great emotional loss, and you have to have that mental strength to overcome this loss. And how you actually bounce back? I got relegated in my 4th term because NDA is a 3-year course. 6 semesters are there, so 6 terms होती हैं. And in the 6th term, I was captain of the academy squash team, and we won the gold medal. I was in the NDA cricket team and I was in the NDA tennis team. ये सारी गेम मैं बचपन में सीखा था अपने फादर के साथ जब मैं रहता था टूर्नामेंट्स में. I got the exposure to all these games. That's why I could do well in NDA and all that and compete with the others. So life में my message to everybody is कि आपको जहाँ opportunity मिलती है, you must take that opportunity. और दूसरा किताबी कीड़े मत बनिए, बिकॉज अगर आपको एक ओवरऑल ग्रोथ अपनी पर्सनैलिटी में चाहिए और अपनी सोच में चाहिए, बिकॉज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इज दैट योर थिंकिंग हैज टू बी वेरी वेरी पॉजिटिव. डोंट बी क्रिटिकल ऑफ एवरीथिंग. व्हाट्सएप में मैं देखता हूँ 90% ऑफ द मैसेजेस आर ओनली फुल ऑफ हेट, फुल ऑफ क्रिटिसिज्म. पॉजिटिविटी दिखाई नहीं दे रही आजकल और बहुत जरूरी है. इट्स अ मस्ट टू गेट दिस पॉजिटिविटी इनटू आवर सिस्टम, बिकॉज अनलेस वी गेट दिस पॉजिटिविटी इनटू द सिस्टम you will not taste any kind of success. I believe that. And when I was commissioned into Army Ordnance Corps. It is a logistic wing of the Indian Army. It actually provides from a needle to a tank and all ammunition, everything it actually provides. जो भी एक सोल्जर को चाहिए लड़ाई को लड़ने के लिए वो हम प्रोवाइड करते हैं. We are managing inventory of almost 8 lakh items. And by young officers course I got the silver medal. Thereafter there was no looking back in life. When I was a major, we have a Defense Services Staff College exam in the Army. It's like the IAS exam of the Indian Army. We had to appear in these 5 papers and we had to clear this exam, and there was a merit list, and you have to come into this merit list to do this 1-year course at Wellington, which is in Tamil Nadu. And that is जैसे कि वीट में से शैफ्ट निकाली दी जाती है, इसको साफ किया जाता है एक गेहूं को, तो फौज में भी दिस इज द लिटमस टेस्ट of your professional capability. You clear the exam, and very few officers are going into the staff college. 300 vacancies are only there, and more than 3,000 to 4,000 officers appear in this exam. So you can see the ratio is approximately 1:10, and so it's quite difficult. And as we went along, I was also fortunate to get an award from the President of India. I got the Vishesh Seva Medal when I was a brigadier. Commendation cards from the army commanders for distinguished service. So my journey in life has been a great learning experience. जो takeaways होते हैं लाइफ में जो आप सीखते हैं और आप अपनी younger generation को बताना चाहते हैं, we must tell the younger generation. The takeaway in life is take on challenges. Don't be deterred by any kind of a challenge. Sky is the limit to your imagination. Don't think you will not be able to achieve anything, because अगर आपने उसको अपने माइंड में ठहरा लिया है तो आप उसको हासिल करके रहोगे, आप देख लो. एंड व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज बिल्ड अप योर लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज थ्रू गेनिंग ऑफ नॉलेज. जो पावर होती है ना, इसको 3 टाइप्स की पावर होती है जैसे. एक तो पावर पैसे से आती है, अगर आप अमीर हो एंड इफ यू आर अ रिच पर्सन देन यू विल बी लाइक अंबानी, यू विल बी लाइक अदानी एंड ऑल. पैसा है तो आपको लोग रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं. दूसरी पावर आती है आपकी पोजीशन से. यू आर द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ अ कंट्री, यू आर द सीईओ ऑफ अ कंपनी, सो you are sitting in a position of authority, and that is your power. The third power is your power of knowledge. एक आप अपने आप को अपना देखना कि जब आप स्कूल में थे, कॉलेज में थे या अपने कहीं पर भी थे, जिसके पास नॉलेज थी उसके पास लोग आते हैं पूछने के लिए इसको कैसे करना है, थ्योरम को जो कैसे इसको सॉल्व करना है, हाउ टू सॉल्व अ मैथमेटिकल प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज यू हैड द नॉलेज एंड दैट इज व्हाई पीपल केम टू यू. सो नॉट एवरीबॉडी कैन हैव मनी, और पोजीशन पे आने के लिए आपको सालों लग जाएंगे. तो आप क्या चीज अपने पावर अपने जल्दी से हासिल कर सकते हो, वो है नॉलेज से. एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई से प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन इज वन वर्ड. यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट दिस, बिकॉज प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन का मतलब है कि आप सोचते रहते हो, करते कुछ नहीं, टाइम वेस्ट कर लेते हो अपना सारा. अपना दिन में आपके पास 24 घंटे हैं, एंड इफ यू स्लीप फॉर 8 आवर्स ऑल्सो, टिल यू हैव 16 आवर्स ऑफ वैल्यूबल टाइम टू डू समथिंग इन लाइफ. Don't waste this time of 16 hours. Very important to utilize each moment, because you see it's like money spent. बैंक अकाउंट है अगर आपका पास, तो अगर आपके पास उस बैंक अकाउंट में 10,000 है और अगर आपने उसमें से 5,000 खर्च कर दिया तो आपके पास बचे ही 5,000, और वो 10,000 पे तो आप उसको बैंक नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज आपने खर्च दिए वो 5,000. द सेम थिंग इज विद टाइम. टाइम एक बार आपका खर्च हो गया, वो आपके पास वापस नहीं आने वाला. सो make maximum use of your time, and one important aspect is you are recognized by the company you keep in life. किस लोगों के साथ आप मिलते हो, किस लोगों के साथ आप बैठते हो, उठते हो, your reputation will take the shape of the type of friends you have. So very important in life. आपको लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस बता रहा हूँ कि अच्छे दोस्त रखो पर कम दोस्त रखो. It is good to have followers बट बेस्ट टू हैव फ्रेंड्स. टुडे हम क्या बोलते हैं कि हमको लाइक्स कितने मिले. एवरीबडी इज आस्किंग के सर आपने वो पॉडकास्ट किया था गौरव जी के साथ, तो उसमें आपके व्यूज कितने आए हैं, और अगर उसमें 5K व्यूज आ गए, 10K व्यूज आ गए, तो इसका मतलब कि आपका पॉडकास्ट अच्छा है, और अगर उसमें व्यूज नहीं आए तो आपका पॉडकास्ट आपका अच्छा नहीं. डोंट गो बाय दीज पैरामीटर्स इन लाइफ. 100 लोगों ने भी वो पॉडकास्ट एक्चुअली देख लिया तो आपने 100 जिंदगियों को आपने इन्फ्लुएंस किया. अगर आप अपनी लाइफ में 10 लोगों को भी इन्फ्लुएंस कर पाओ, दैट इज अ वेरी ग्रेट अचीवमेंट. लेट मी टेल यू, डोंट गो फॉर दीज इंस्टाग्राम लाइक्स एंड ऑल. आपने देखा इतने लोग अपने सुसाइड कमिट कर रहे हैं. यंग एज पीपल आर हैविंग हार्ट अटैक्स. 40 साल की उम्र में हार्ट अटैक हो रहा है, 35 साल की उम्र में कार्डियक प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, ब्लड प्रेशर हो रहा है. सो be very very contented and happy. Keep stress away from you, because जितने आपकी इच्छाएं आपकी बढ़ती जाएंगी उतना आपका स्ट्रेस बढ़ता जाएगा. Keep your expectations to the minimum. ये बोलना आसान है, let me tell you, ये बोलना आसान है, करना बहुत मुश्किल है. इसको मैंने तो बोल दिया और आपने सुन लिया, पर करना बहुत मुश्किल, और इस मुश्किल को आपने पूरा करना है. और ये जैसे ये मुश्किल आप इसको पूरा करेंगे, आप देखेंगे हैप्पीनेस इज द जर्नी टू सक्सेस. एक सीईओ ऑफ अ कंपनी 1 करोड़ पैकेज, 20 घंटे काम करता है 24 घंटे में से, कोई फैमिली लाइफ नहीं, कोई हॉलिडे के लिए नहीं जा सकता. कैन यू कॉल हिम टू बी अ सक्सेसफुल पर्सन? उसके बच्चे क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या नहीं कर रहे हैं, बच्चों के साथ टाइम नहीं बिता सकता, बिकॉज ही इज अ सीईओ, ही इज अ कमिटेड मैन, हिज कंपनी नीड्स इट. सो लाइफ बैलेंस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ अस डोंट रियलाइज दिस इन यंग एज. हम अपने लाइफ का बैलेंस बिगाड़ रहे हैं. डोंट कॉम्प्रोमाइज ऑन दिस लाइफ बैलेंस, बिकॉज लाइफ बैलेंस बहुत जरूरी है. मूवी देखो, फ्रेंड्स के साथ जाओ, एंजॉय करो, और व्हेन यू हैव टाइम टू वर्क, you work like mad. Set small goals for yourself every day. Long term goals भी रखो, short term goals भी रखो, और medium term goals भी रखो. एक एक्रोनिम है इसके लिए, it is known as SMART, SMART. Your goals should be specific, they should be measurable. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for realistic, and T stands for timely. तो अगर ये जो स्मार्ट एक्रोनिम अगर आप याद रखेंगे लाइफ में और अपने गोल्स इसके बेसिस पे बनाएंगे, you will see that you will set small goals for yourself which are achievable, which you can measure, और उसका एक टाइम आप सेट करो कि ये 6 महीने में मैंने हासिल कर, और फिर आप देखोगे कि आपकी लाइफ कितनी आसान बनती जाए. एंड वन मोर इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ लाइफ इज यू मस्ट हैव रोल मॉडल्स, जिसके ऊपर आप अपनी लाइफ को एक मोटिवेशन की तरीके से आप उसको लेके जाएंगे. So your role model doesn't have to be Sachin Tendulkar, doesn't have to be any big person. Your role model can be your elder brother, role model can be your father, your sister, your mother, or your best friend who's doing well in life. So make such people as your role models with whom you can relate, और उनमें वो देखो कि क्या उनमें क्वालिटीज हैं जिसकी वजह से वो अपनी लाइफ को सक्सेस बना पाए। एंड योर रोल मॉडल्स विल बी सच के इनको आप जानते हैं, पहचानते हैं और जिनके साथ आप जुड़े हुए हैं लाइफ। डोंट मेक रोल मॉडल फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, फ्रॉम विद इन योर ओन सर्कल। तो मैं अपने एग्जांपल देता हूँ। आई वाज अ यंग यूनिट कैप्टन, आई हैड अ कमांडिंग ऑफिसर, ही वाज अ सिक ऑफिसर, और मैं उस कमांडिंग ऑफिसर को देखता था वो एक यूनिट को कैसे कमांड करता। छोटी छोटी चीजें आई यूज्ड टू ऑब्जर्व, हाउ यूज्ड टू टॉक, हाउ यूज्ड टू मोटिवेट द मेन, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एक्टिविटीज ही यूज्ड टू ऑर्गेनाइज इन द यूनिट टू मोटिवेट एंड टू एक्चुअली गेट हिज ओन टीम अलोंग, एंड हाउ ही वुड गिव क्रेडिट टू यू for a success instead of taking it himself as the head of the organization. मैं हर एक चीज उसकी ऑब्जर्व करता था, वो मेरा रोल मॉडल बन गया। और जब मैं कमांडिंग ऑफिसर बना मैंने वही किया जो वो करता, और मुझे भी सक्सेस मिला उसी तरीके से, द वे ही अचीव द सक्सेस। सो दैट इज एसेंस ऑफ लाइफ, because your essence of life is not success and happiness. I was a director of a business school in Greater Noida, management का स्कूल था वो। अब जब मैं बच्चों को बोलता था when they actually decide on a career for themselves, what are the points you will consider in selecting a career for yourself? जैसे placements की teams आती थी वहाँ पे, and everybody used to say, sir, package अच्छा होना चाहिए। This is where we are going wrong. पैकेज अपने आप ही अच्छा हो जाएगा अगर आप राइट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे जाएंगे। जो आपका पैशन है, अगर आपको मार्केटिंग में पैशन है, आपका फाइनेंस का पैशन है, आपका सप्लाई चेन का पैशन है, आपका ऑपरेशंस का पैशन है, आपका आईटी का पैशन, जो चीज में आप अपने आप को कंफर्ट एक्चुअली फील करते हो एंड विच इज योर स्ट्रेंथ, अपना स्वॉट एनालिसिस करना बहुत जरूरी है। Because most of us don't know our own strength and weakness. Because एक बार once you know your strength and weaknesses, then whatever opportunities and threats will come, you will be able to do it better. Get into the organization which supports your strength, and you will find आपको उस organization में progression मिलेगा, आपको promotions मिलेगी, because आप वो काम कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे जो काम आपको पसंद है और जो आपकी strength है। So passion and your capability has to go together. Don't take anything in which there is no passion involved. I joined the army. अगर मेरे माइंड में ये था कि मेरे फादर ने मुझे आर्मी में डाल दिया है और आई एम नॉट हैप्पी इन दिस प्रोफेशन, देन यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू वेल इन दिस प्रोफेशन। आप अपना नॉर्मल अपना आर्मी की लाइफ अपना करके कर्नल की रैंक में रिटायर हो जाए, पर अगर आप में पैशन है तो आप ऊपर तक जाएंगे। बाकी आपकी डेस्टिनी है, तो मेहनत आपके हाथ में है, डेस्टिनी आपके हाथ में नहीं। यू कैन वर्क हार्ड, यू कैन स्टडी वेल, you can gain knowledge, because all this thing is in your hands, and leave the result to God. Let me tell you, if you have prepared well, if you have worked hard, nobody can stop that result. The result will automatically be there. Crux of this, all the entire conversation is this, that be yourself, try to understand yourself better, try to build up your emotional skills, try to build up your knowledge, be a good person, spread positivity around you. ये सारी ये चीजें मुश्किल नहीं है, let me tell you. अगर आप में ये चीजें नहीं है या इसकी कमी है, आप इस कमी को दूर कर सकते हो, थोड़ी मेहनत की जरूरत है। Don't get jealous from the success of others. Learn one thing in life, your competition is with yourself. Your competition is not with anybody else. golf की गेम एक लाइफ को एक चीज आपको सिखाती है। In golf you play with your own self. You don't play with your opponent. एक अगर आपने 18 होल का कोर्स है और आपको उसने 72 शॉट्स में अगर आपको पार स्कोर लेना है, तो आप हर एक शॉट अच्छा मारेंगे, आप तभी वो चीज हासिल कर पाएंगे। And golf also teaches you one more important aspect of life. When you are in an adverse situation, how you can recover from the situation, because आपने अगर बॉल मारी और वो पानी में चली गई, फिर वो पानी से निकाल के आपको इसको दोबारा आपको आना है ग्राउंड पर। So from an adverse situation, you are now coming out into a positive situation. So that, you know, every game, every experience teaches you this. And always remember, don't take your failures to heart, because everyone will fail in this world. There is nobody who can say कि मैं actually fail हुआ। आप अगर एक इलेक्शन भी लड़ते हैं तो एक बार जीतेंगे, दो बार जीतेंगे, तीसरी बार हारेंगे, और हार के बाद भी फिर आप जीतेंगे। So that is the beauty of it.
As a child, who was your inspiration and why?
See, as my child, my inspiration was my father. You have to draw inspiration from someone who is known to you or who's close to you. So I used to observe my father every day, his self-discipline, his hard work, his perseverance, his mental strength, his physical strength. So everything. So I used to draw my inspiration from him, and I think today if I owe my actually success, a great amount of that goes to my father. He would guide me at every step. if I did my MBA, it was because my father actually filled up the form. When I was already in the army, I was a major that time. So he would chalk out my path of life that way.
So as a child, apart from going into army, what was your inspirational job?
Actually, to be truthful to you, I wanted to become a doctor because my Nanaji was a dentist. He had a flourishing clinic in Karol Bagh, and partition ke baad they came to India and they actually settled down in New Rajendra Nagar and they actually opened a clinic. So I thought my temperament is more suited to become a doctor. And मेरा mindset भी उस तरफ था और इसलिए in my class 11 I took physics, chemistry and biology because I wanted to go on to this path. But then, at times destiny has got other things slated for you. And I will actually narrate you an incident. When I appeared for my National Defence Academy exam, my father was posted in Agra and I was also in school in St. Peter's, Agra. So there was another army officer's son who appeared in the NDA exam with me. We cleared the NDA exam. We went for SSB. He couldn't clear the SSB. I cleared the SSB. Today, he is one of the top doctors in Nagpur. He couldn't join the army, but there was another profession waiting for him. He joined the FMC, Armed Forces Medical College. After that, of course, he opted for the army. He went into the civil area. So life में सोचना नहीं चाहिए कि अगर ये because not everybody has the temperament to join the army. That's why I say that you need to know yourself better. And if you don't have the temperament, don't force yourself that I want to become an army officer, because then you are chalking out a path for yourself which will not give you success. अगर आप में एक questioning attitude है, if you are super intelligent person, you're going to question everything. Army does not need super intelligent people. Army needs only average intelligence people. And अगर हर एक चीज को आप question ही करोगे तो फिर आप इसको disciplined force के साथ आप अपना काम नहीं कर पाएंगे. Because army leadership is quite personality based. If your commanding officer thinks a particular course of action is better, you may not think that way, but you have to accept what he has told you. Before a decision is taken, there will be a brainstorming, there will be discussions. Give your diverse point. I used to encourage that. I used to tell my officers, okay, now this is my decision, let's debate it. And they would come out with all sorts of things. And still if I said that no, we will stick to the decision, then you need to accept that and implement it with the full josh. Because एक बार आपको फाइनल डिसीजन मिल गया और आपने उसके प्रोज एंड कॉन्स डिस्कस करने के बाद you have decided that this is the final decision, then you must work to implement that decision, because that is what actually comes from a disciplined organization, and that is what you must follow in your life.
So if you have an opportunity to go back in your life at around 12 years of age, what would be that one thing you would like to change, and what would be that one thing you would like to say to yourself?
If I look back and if I see that how I have actually progressed in this life, I think I made the best decision of my life, because I joined an organization which by and large has got very, very high moral values, high ethical values, and works like a system and delivers standards of proficiency. Because as they say that फौज is the last bastion of the country. जब सारी चीजें फेल हो जाती हैं, फिर आपकी फौज ही उसमें आपको ऊपर के आपको आगे लेके जाती है. I may not be having a big कोठी or a bungalow or something. I may not be having 3 cars and all that. But I am quite satisfied in my 4 BHK house in Greater Noida. And even if I go back at the age of 12 and if I look back, क्या मैं अपनी जिंदगी को दोबारा जीना चाहूँगा, तो इसको मेरा आंसर है yes.
So can you describe your first posting or professional assignment and what were the learning from that particular assignment?
बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. I got commissioned on the 19th of December 1981 and अभी देखो कितना लंबी जर्नी हो गई है. And my first posting was Guwahati in Assam, and the beauty was that when I actually landed up at the railway station, there was people to receive me there. They took me to my room. Now the whole thing was being enacted like a plot. 3 young officers were disguised as Jawans who came to receive me. And then from my room, my identity card was stolen. And I was told in the night around 8 o'clock in the night to inspect a quarter guard as part of the duty हमारा जहाँ पे हथियार वगैरह रखते हैं वो quarter guard बोलते हैं. And I was given a password that this is your password. जो आप उसको quarter guard में जाएंगे तो आपको password देना होता है because nobody can enter that place without a password. And I was given a wrong password. So what happens is that my iCard is lost, a wrong password is given, and those people, moment it is a wrong password, they behave like I was some kind of impersonator wearing a uniform and I was put behind the bars. वो उस क्वार्टर गार्ड में दो सेल होते हैं जो जवान अपना इनडिसिप्लिन के केसेस होते हैं जब उनको पनिशमेंट मिलती है एंड वी कॉल इट रिगोरस इम्प्रिजनमेंट टाइप, तो उनको उस सेल में डाल दिया जाता है. तो मुझे भी उस सेल में डाल दिया गया. And I kept on saying भाई I am लेफ्टिनेंट सो एंड सो, मैं आज पोस्टिंग पे आया हूँ, आपकी यूनिट में आया हूँ, यू प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दैट. बट द एंटायर थिंग वाज स्टेज मैनेज्ड एंड आई वाज पुट इन द लॉकअप and the whole night I was kept there. Then later on, of course, they disclosed everything to me. So this is a tradition of the Indian Army that an officer on the first day itself, he is made to actually get that emotional strength and the mental strength in him. Then the next day, I was sent on a mission 300 kilometers away. And I had to accomplish that, and within 48 hours I had to come back. So again, that was a unsettling yourself. Means you have just not settled down into your new place and you are straight away actually sent somewhere else. And I will actually come to the learnings after this. Then what happens is that you are made to sleep for 7 days in the same barracks as your jawans are staying. You can't go to the officers' mess and eat there. For the next 7 days, your bed is placed there with your jawans. You are using the same toilet as your jawans. You are having bath there. You are feeding with them and you are doing whatever they are doing every day. So, if you think कि तुम officer हो, भूल जाओ, जवानों के साथ पहले आपको रहना सीखो. If I actually sum it up this entire thing, it teaches you ambiguity for change. You must have the strength because there will be a lot of changes which will actually happen all of a sudden. So you must be mentally prepared to take it on. Second is, once you stay with your men, you will understand them better. So know your men. Army में ये बहुत important है. It's very important to know the people whom you are going to work with or whom you are going to command and who will be giving you the respect that you lead them into battle. Come what may, they are not bothered, for their own life. They can live their life for you or for the country because they know that you are a good leader. So, good leader is the one who actually knows his men, who understands the difficulty of his men. See, if I staying with them for 7 days, I also know कि इसमें पानी नहीं आता है टैप्स में, ये प्रॉब्लम है, इनके फ्लशेस ब्लॉक रहते हैं, इनको रहने के लिए अच्छी जगह नहीं है, खाना में इसको नमक ज़्यादा है या जो इनको प्रॉपर क्वांटिटी का खाना नहीं मिले. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स आई एम बीइंग एक्सपोज्ड माई सेल्फ बिकॉज आई एम डूइंग दिस थिंग विद देम एवरी डे फॉर 7 days. These are the way you are bedded into the organization. And you understand the organization, you build up. One word I would use is resilience. Because resilience is very important in life. How to adapt to the changing circumstance. So once you are with your men, and you must know each person in your team by his first name. You must know from which village he is from. You must know how many people are there in his family. You must know what are the problems he is facing in his house far away. Because once you know everything about your men, then you will become a commanding officer. And I'm telling you, all these things help me in my command. Then you will command well. Then you will be a successful person in your command, and slowly your progression in life will go up. So these are the important learnings in my first posting.
So what was the toughest decision you had to make in your early part of career?
The toughest decision I had to actually make is that I was in the ADC to the governor of Tamil Nadu. I was a young captain that time. And it was Dr. P.C. Alexander was the governor in Tamil Nadu. And I homed on to spy racket, or there was one inspector and 2 constables who were indulging in some kind of espionage activity, trying to find out what the governor was writing on his files and things like that, confidential information. And I caught these guys red-handed. So now this decision had to be taken. I had to tell the governor everything. It went off, and it actually exposed the government, because at the behest of the state government, they were trying to spy on the government. And this issue was raised in the parliament also. And there was a lot of investigation. I also got involved with the investigation, and a lot of things happened. And my own safety and security was also at a risk there, because I was in a state, Tamil Nadu, I was an outsider, and I had been instrumental in busting that spy racket. So I became a target, and I had a small daughter that time. So there was a risk to my own security, my own family's security, but still I took the decision, because the decision had to be taken, because it's a question of integrity and loyalty. And these are the two qualities I would like to mention in your program, which every aspiring student or aspiring leader must have, because without integrity and the loyalty, you are nobody. So this was, I think, offhand, if you've asked me, it was a tough call to take at that point of time.
So how did you learn to lead and earn respect as a young officer?
You have to understand one thing, never preach anything which you actually yourself don't do. एक इसकी कहावत भी है ना, practice what you preach, and this is a time tested thing in life. And as a young officer, if you tell your men to do something which you yourself don't do, then you will find that you will not get respect. People may respect you for your uniform, आपको salute भी करेंगे, but you have to earn the respect. And to earn the respect, you have to make sure you are professionally good, you know your job, men actually respect you for your opinion, for your decision, and the men know कि अगर आप उनको कुछ करने के लिए बोल रहे हो तो आप अपना खुद भी वही करते हो. So this is the lesson I want to give to everybody, all your viewers here, that to be recognized and respected as a good leader, you must practice what you preach. Today, all these politicians, none of them practice what they preach. And that is why they don't get the respect in society. There was a poll about 2 years back that whom do you trust the most? उसमें politicians की category थी, doctors की category थी, फौज की category थी, judges की आपकी category थी, ऐसी 5-6 categories थे. The lowest category was of the politician. 0.6% was the percentage they got. And 78 or 80% was the percentage the Indian Army got, and the Indian Army was on top of that list. Whom you trust the most. Police station where people are not, ladies are not actually safe to go in the night and make a complaint. Why? Because they know that those people are not trustworthy. और हमने इतने सारे incidents हम देखते हैं रोज. So you have to build up that trust in the people, and that will only come if you yourself show that trust. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना कि आपकी integrity जो होती है, it's always a two-way traffic. You cannot expect your subordinate to be loyal to you if you are not loyal to them. If you are loyal, then you can expect the loyalty also being reciprocated. But it cannot be a one-way traffic.
So how did you adopt while transitioning between logistics, HR, education and strategic leadership?
I spent my entire service in the army. 37 years I was in the army, 4 years in training, 3 years in NDA, 1 year in IMA, 41 years in uniform. इसको मैं 17 साल में मैं गया था वहाँ पे, और मैं 58 years में रिटायर हुआ. So it's a long journey of 41 years, and I have only practically I have done more of supply chain, more of logistics and strategy. Because as you graduate into the higher ranks, you are first at the tactical level. Once you become a colonel, you come on to the operational level. And once you become a brigadier or a major general, you graduate to the strategic level of thought, or your leadership actually changes. So your army trains you in all the three categories. Isliye they say army trains you 3 steps higher. As a captain, you are trained to become or think like a colonel. As a colonel, you are trained to think like a general. So हमारे जितने भी courses होते हैं of instruction, they teach you to think at 2 or 3 levels higher than your present status. So that is very important, and they are subjects which actually fascinate you. You may not be able to practice those subjects while in service because you have a professional growth in service. You have military subjects to be dealt with. But when I retired in 2018, I had a great deal of fascination for geopolitics, for understanding how nations form their strategy, how counter strategies can be made, how defense modernization can be taken ahead, how defense technology can be taken ahead, how the assimilation of technology can happen into the armed forces. So once I started reading and researching, studying on this, then I started writing on it, because that was my first step. Because before you speak or before you are invited to forums, you need to create a place for yourself. And writing actually gives you that recognition. So I started writing for Economic Times, and today I have written more than 300 articles which have been published. And then I wrote a book on breaking the Chinese myth, and this I wrote during the COVID times 2021. It was published. It is available on Amazon. So this was also a very interesting book, which I wrote. It was a culmination of 8 to 10 articles of mine, which I actually condensed, chapterized, added a few chapters, and I wrote this 170 pages book, and which is quite a good bestseller on Amazon. I think 4.0 rating it has got out of 5. So that was my maiden effort of writing a book. And then I got this exposure onto the TV channels. Every day I read about 5 newspapers in the morning, digital newspapers I have. So I have a booklet for each subject, and I make my notes, and I am up to date it. Then I make my analysis. I use Chat GPT also for getting the factual inputs. And after I get those inputs, I actually make my own analysis, and then I'm ready to be called for any program on the TV channels, because the current issues are actually discussed, and I am actually abreast on most of these issues today. And the best way is to spend your time in reading, listening to YouTube's discussions. Some very good discussions are there on YouTube. Listen to them, try to imbibe what you can, and formulate your own thought process. That is important.
So did your leadership style change across departments or it remained the same?
There cannot be a fixed style of leadership. Always remember one thing in life, and I would like to tell your viewers, your leadership has to change with the type of people whom you are going to lead. Because not every organization is the same. If I have gone to as a director of a business school, and my people whom I have to lead are my professors, my faculty and my students, अभी मैं अपना फौजी leadership style तो नहीं चला सकता ना उनके साथ. I have to modulate my leadership style accordingly. In Fauj, your leadership style is different. In civil life, it has to be a transactional leadership style. And so accordingly, it has to be a transformation, it has to be transaction. So these kind of leadership styles have to be there. You have to reward people at times to get the best out of them. And you have to extract, or you have to understand who's the best, for the job. And you have to assign that, kind of duties to those people who can perform on that particular task. It's getting the optimal from all your resources, optimally utilizing your resources. So that is management is all about. And management and leadership has to be meshed with each other. And once you mesh these two things together, I think then the results will come.
So what advice would you give to someone nervous about changing sectors?
First advice I would give that be very, very convinced in your mind that the change is required. Because कई बार हम लोग impulsive decision लेते हैं change करने से पहले. Something hurts us, we find frustrated over actually something, then we want the change. So always think over a change. Secondly, 2 in hand is better than 3 in a bush, as they say. तो इसको कुछ आपके हाथ में होना चाहिए, आपका available होना चाहिए, तभी change करिए. Don't make a change and then start looking for a job at that point of time. You make the transition when you have something assured for you. I'm waiting for you, something actually waiting for you there. And try to analyze, lastly, is that why you're making the change, and after making the change, will it be better? एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अगर आपको लगता है कि आपकी ग्रोथ नहीं है या आपको रिकॉग्निशन नहीं मिल रही है उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, आप चेंज करते हो. दूसरा, आप चेंज करते हो कि आपको अप्रेजल नहीं मिला सही तरीके का, और आपको ऐसे लगता है कि you will get a better appraisal somewhere else, and better involvements and etc. somewhere else. Then you make a change, and sometimes you make a change to suit your own requirements in life. Supposing if I got a house in Gurgaon and if I'm doing a job in Greater Noida, then I'll look for something which is available to me in Gurgaon. And moment you get that something, then you make that change. So those environmental factors also play a very important role. So I think you have to take into account all these factors.
So, what differences did you experience between serving in government roles and working in academia and consulting?
See, the first thing is that once you go into the academia, you must forget that you are a general of the Indian Army. You have to pitch yourself as one of them. Because moment if you create a wall between yourself and your status, what you have seen, you had that status in life. It's good you had that status. But now you are going to a profession which is different, where the requirement of the profession is different and your past baggage should not be carried into the new one. So the first important aspect is you must forget that I must get that respect from everybody because I'm a general. You must earn that respect into that organization. So once you go into the organization, try to understand the organization culture, try to understand what the organization desires from you and start working on that. Give them a road map. कि अगले एक साल में मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ, इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को किस लेवल तक लेके जाना चाहता हूँ. And try to understand your team because now your team is different. Professors are there, faculty are there, students are there. Try to interact with your students. Try to understand that what the students want and are they getting it? Are the faculties delivering? Are the lesson plans being made properly? Is the pedagogy good? Are the case studies being disseminated in the manner it should be done? What kind of research work is being carried out in your organization? So now your parameters have changed. You were dealing with the Indian Army and the logistics and supply chain, operational and strategic aspects. Now you are an educational institute. And in an educational institute, the requirements are different. The parameters are different. What are the owners looking for? They want more students to join. Admissions unko chahiye zyada because financial aspects are involved. Then they want your placements have to be good because moment placements are good, the publicity goes around. Then they want your entire syllabus has to be industry oriented. You must have an interface between the institution and the industry. You must be able to call all subject matter experts there and give the students an exposure. आपकी internships have to be well planned and your tours have to be well planned कि आप उनको exposure दे रहे हैं different चीजों के ऊपर, finance के ऊपर, आप operations के ऊपर, so like that. So I think that entire modulation, what you do actually has to be. I'll tell you an example. Yesterday somebody told me, sir, I'm into technology and I am planning to start a geopolitical channel and I want you on board and I want you to be part of my channel. I want you to give us ideas how to go about the entire thing. So now I have agreed to join him. So I will be now re-strategizing myself as per the new requirement. I have joined you on Must Manage Intellect. So that is an organization where we take on projects and we guide people on the various projects and how to start a startup, where the funding must come, what kind of projects have to be undertaken in that startup. So each assignment of yours is a challenge by itself because there is no formal training I've got for all that. But it is my experience, my knowledge and the way I've been able to understand the processes are going to help me in strategizing each activity in which I take on a responsibility.
So, what does true leadership means to you?
You must understand one thing, that leadership cannot be enshrined in a fixed compartment. The true leader is the person who is loved by his people, who is revered by his people and who is respected by his people. And for whatever we have actually discussed today, the essence of this entire leadership is character. You must build your character in a way that you are respected by everybody. A person with a loose character cannot be a good leader. So the essence, I would say, actually in one word, is character.
So how can one stay grounded while achieving professional success?
बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये रिमेंबर, नथिंग इज परमानेंट इन लाइफ. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दिस. आज मैं कुर्सी पे बैठा हूँ और ये जो पावर है ये उसी टाइम पे है जब तक मैं कुर्सी में बैठा. ये जो कुर्सी मेरी है ये परमानेंट नहीं. वंस यू रियलाइज that there is no permanency in any appointment, any assignment. And the second important aspect is, अगर मुझे एक power मिली है, if I can carry out certain activities because of my position, then try to use that power to help the maximum number of people. I was ADC to governor. There was an officer who came to me. His child had a hole in the heart. There was a top cardiologist in Chennai who was the best to actually carry out the operation. He had gone to him and he had been given an appointment after 3 months. The operation could not wait 3 months. He came to me in Raj Bhavan. I was not known to him at all. And he told me, sir, आपकी जो help चाहिए. I walked up to my governor. I got his okay. I spoke to that cardiologist. In the next 48 hours, his son was operated. लोगों को आप जितना मदद कर सकते हैं आपकी, वो मैं आज भी करता हूँ. If I can do or if I can help somebody, why not? I may not be able to directly help somebody now because I'm retired, but through my contacts, certainly I can help somebody. And it has happened number of times. So this is my actually message to all here.
So can you recall a situation where emotional intelligence mattered more than authority and changed the outcome?
Actually क्या होता है लाइफ में, if you are in a position of authority, your subordinates will actually come to you and you are giving them everyday tasks. Okay, I want this to be done, I want this to be done. Suddenly a subordinate enters your office and you find that he is undergoing some stress. और अगर आप उसको इस स्टेट ऑफ माइंड में अपना ऐसे ऐसे टास्क देने शुरू कर दोगे विच विल एड टू हिज ओन स्ट्रेस, देन दोस टास्क विल आल्सो सफर and his professional ability will also suffer. So this emotional intelligence has got 4 parts which you have to remember. Self-awareness. You first is about yourself. The next part is self-management. After you know yourself, how you're going to manage your emotion. Supposing अगर मुझे गुस्सा आता है, कोई चीज ट्रिगर करती है उस गुस्से को, and if I know what is the trigger and if I can control that trigger, then I can reduce that emotion from taking over me, because once you are angry, that emotion has taken control of your mind. Self-awareness, self-management, social awareness. So now when this officer came to me and I sort of recognized that he's going under a stress or some kind of a trauma, so that is my social awareness quality. And the last part is empathy and relationship management. How to build up a relation with each other, how to build up a relation with your subordinate, how to build up a relation with your superior. So these are the facets of emotional intelligence, and if you are aware of this and if you can start working on this, let me tell you, you will be able to produce better results.
So can you share a moment from your military service where your leadership was tested under extreme pressure, and how did you respond to that particular pressure?
There was an incident at about 1 o'clock in the morning. I was posted in Srinagar. One of our Jawans, he had a rifle in his hand and he was pointing that rifle at his Subedar and he was wanting to kill him. And I got a call कि sir ऐसा ऐसा यहाँ पे गड़बड़ हो गई है, आप आ जाओ जल्दी से. So I just immediately, I wore my uniform, I just saw, landed up there. So it was a spectacle to see. All the people, about 15-20 people are standing there. This guy is pointing the rifle at Subedar's head. And moment I am actually coming near, he tells me, sir, I will also shoot you if you come near me. So now the situation is in front of you. A Jawan is holding a rifle onto the person's head and he is going to shoot him anytime. You are standing there and all other men are apart. What do you do? So this is a test of your leadership quality now. So you have to now start engaging him into a conversation. You have to start coming to him कि भाई ये तू क्यों कर रहा है, क्या तकलीफ है तुझे, मुझे अपनी तकलीफ बता. And slowly you are trying to soften him up by your reassuring attitude. अब now you can't say कि चल तू क्या नीचे रखा भी, this is my order. No, you can't actually talk in that tone. You have to come down. You have to come down to his mental level. You have to make him realize that you are his friend. And if there is a problem, I am your company commander. I can resolve this problem of yours. Tell me what's the problem. So slowly, I started actually softening him up. और मैं आहिस्ता चलने लगा उसको. और जब मैं उसकी तरफ 2-2.5 फीट पहुंच गया, मैंने झटके से उसकी राइफल छीन ली उससे. तो I actually lowered his guard. He became comfortable with me and slowly I started approaching him and he allowed me to come, and then I took the rifle from him. After that, of course, we tried to identify why he did that and a lot of things came out after that. So that is another story. So I think this was the very crucial part of the test in which he could actually shot at me also. And there have been incidents in the army like this, let me tell you. And it is called, fratricide. And अगर आप इस Google में भी अगर इसको करो that how many fratricide incidents or deaths have taken place in the army, you will get a substantial number of a figure. So जब आदमी स्ट्रेस में होता है ना, जो ऐसे एनवायरमेंट्स में होता है, फील्ड कंडीशंस में होता है, घर में कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, छुट्टी नहीं मिल रही, छुट्टी डिनाई हो रही है, या कोई आपको मेंटली हैरेस कर रहा है, देन यू रिजॉर्ट टू दीज थिंग्स. इट्स अ नेचुरल ह्यूमन रिएक्शन, आई वुड से.
So now our rapid round. So one book that changed your life.
One book that changed my life, Far from the Madding Crowd, Thomas Hardy.
Leadership in one word.
Character.
Tea or coffee.
Tea.
A cause closest to your heart.
Nation building.
One quote or mantra you live by.
Be truthful to yourself.
One message you would give to young youth today.
Spend your skills and your energy in building up your nation, because the nation needs you today.
What an enlightening conversation this has been. From lesson in leadership to the power of emotional intelligence. Today's episode has reminded us that a true strength lies in service, strategy, and self-awareness. Thank you, Major General Dr. Rajan, for sharing your incredible journey, your battlefield wisdom, and your unwavering dedication to build a bright, more resilient future. To our viewers, remember, the future belongs to those who prepare, who believe, and who act. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing. This is Gaurav Girl signing off from Believe in Future, Amazing Mentor. Stay inspired. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and my best wishes to you and the wonderful work you are doing.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your time, sir.
Thanks a lot, Jay.
Jai Hind, sir.